Hola, everybody. I am making this sitting out on my back porch on a very nice day. And I just wanted to walk you guys through the Unit 1 Bitmoji Classroom Summative Project. This is normally a school fair where we would do this in person and you would get to show your school to other classmates. So we're going to be using Google Slides and Flipgrid to do this. So everything you need to know is on these slides, which are located in Canvas under the Unit 1 Bitmoji Classroom assignment. And so each part of this is worth 50 points for a total of 100. There is a rubric, and you can click here, and it will take you to this last slide in the slideshow to show you the rubric, okay? So for part 1, you'll design your Bitmoji classroom. And it's kind of your ideal school. Like if you were building a school, creating a brand new school, what would this school look like? And we've learned all of this school vocabulary, so you know like all the things you need to know to be able to put into that school, okay? So you're going to do your Bitmoji classroom. All of the teachers have been obsessed with doing their Bitmojis this year. So if you guys don't know how to do that yet, I do have a couple of videos on Canvas already. That I will be taking you through in class that will show you how to create your Bitmoji and create the classroom. Because there is like, even if you know how to use Bitmoji and you know how to use Google Slides, it is a little bit different of how you include those in the slides. This might be something new for you. This might be some technology that can be a little bit difficult, but I want you guys to rise to the occasion. I think you can do it. All the teachers have had to learn brand new technology this year, and I thought this would be a fun way for you all to incorporate the technology that we're using in class, okay? So you'll create a Google Slides presentation, and I want you to title it specifically because you're going to be uploading it into Canvas, and I'm going to show you how you'll do that. But you're going to be uploading it differently than we've been doing some of our other assignments. It's not going to be already created for you. You're creating the slides yourself within your Google Drive, and then you'll upload that to Canvas. So you need to name it yourself. It'll be named last name, comma, first name, dash, Bitmoji Classroom. Okay, and it says it on here so you know how to name it. You'll do a title slide. You're going to make up a name for your school, and you'll write the name in Spanish. You'll write your name, and please, please, please write your class period, your block. That makes it much easier for me to grade and figure out what class you're in. So this tells you exactly what to do on each slide. On the second slide, you will describe your school. You'll write 10 sentences in Spanish explaining what your school has and does not have. And we'll talk about how to say that in class. So you'll list the different areas of your building, and you'll say, my school has a cafeteria, my school does not have a library, whatever that is, okay? And we will talk about how to say that in Spanish in class. Mi escuela tiene, or mi escuela no tiene. Slide 3, you'll do your Bitmoji classroom. And so again, I'm going to be showing you some how-to videos in class that will help you figure out how to put all of that together, okay? Your classroom, the picture of your classroom on the slides will include the following things at minimum. You can put more than this if you want to, but I need you to have these things on it. You need at least 10 different things labeled in Spanish. And so that's kind of like what we did when we labeled all the school supplies on the slide. It's kind of similar, but they'll be placed in your classroom like they would in a regular classroom. Your Bitmoji needs to have a little speech bubble, and I'm going to show you guys my Bitmoji classroom like example as well in class because I've done one. And so you'll have your little Bitmoji pose there and a speech bubble with it. And you'll be welcoming your students to class using our Spanish basic conversation vocabulary. Hola, me llamo señor or señora, bienvenidos a la clase, that kind of thing. You'll have a schedule on the wall, and I can show you how to make like a graphic for that. And you need to have 3 core classes and 3 elective classes. Okay, so just those 3 things are the minimum, but you can add other things to it, other decorations, lamps, stools, like there's all kinds of stuff you can put on there. Okay, and was that all for that part? I scrolled down too soon. Okay, so then when you're finished with this part, this is the main thing you'll turn in inside of Canvas, because the other part is the flip grid, and we've done those before, and so you know that you don't turn the flip grid in on Canvas, you just do it in Flipgrid. So this is the part, whenever you're done with the slides, you'll go upload your slides and click submit on Canvas, okay? The next part is what you'll do just on Flipgrid, and you don't have to go back to Canvas to submit it, okay? So even though the assignment on Canvas is out of 100 points, I'm gonna be putting in the extra Flipgrid part to make up your 100 points. So the only thing you're submitting into that assignment is the slideshow of your classroom. The Flipgrid you'll just submit on Flipgrid. So you'll do a Flipgrid after you have done your Bitmoji classroom. You'll use Spanish only, just like we did in our previous one. If you use English, I cannot give you points because that is not fulfilling the assignment, okay? And so this is your interpersonal portion. So that's where you're using Spanish orally to interact with one another. And that's the piece that we're trying to get across through technology, because normally we would be able to do that a little easier in the classroom. So make sure you're using Spanish only, because that doesn't fulfill the requirements of this course or of the assignment if you're using English. That doesn't show me your knowledge in Spanish. So you'll record your initial Flipgrid video, and those are linked in the actual Canvas assignment for your class, because there's a different Flipgrid video for each class. And so those are included in that actual assignment, okay? You'll follow the instructions on the video. You'll follow the instructions on the video topic to guide you. And in the first video, you will say the following things. So again, it's also in Flipgrid where it gives you these things you're gonna say, so you'll have them in front of you. Hola, me llamo, and your name. So introduce yourself. You're a teacher at this school, or you're the principal of this school. Me llamo señor, señora, me llamo director or directora, the principal. Then you'll excuse me. Then you'll say this phrase in Spanish. Tengo unas preguntas. I have some questions. So it's like you're asking questions to someone else in your class about their school and their classroom. So you'll ask 3 questions that you would like to know about your classmates' classrooms. And we will talk about some options for those in class. So that's in your first video. You introduce yourself, you say tengo unas preguntas, and you ask 3 questions you would like to know about your classmates' classrooms. Then you will respond. And remember, we kind of had to do this with our last Flipgrid. We figured out that you have to respond by clicking add a comment. So when you go to that classmate's video, you'll click add a comment below that and add your video to theirs, where you will answer their 3 questions. So basically, you're introducing yourself, you're asking 3 questions, and then you're answering 3 questions on your classmates' videos about your classroom, okay? After you have completed those 2 things, again, the Flipgrid, you don't have to go back to Canvas to submit it. You just submit it on Flipgrid. So after you've done those 2, you will complete the post-analysis reflection, and this part can be in English. So it's just kind of a reflection of your time spent doing this project, what you liked about it, what you didn't, what you feel like you learned from it. You can click here and it will take you to a different slide or form that you'll fill out about that. And you can do that part in English, okay? And that's just to reflect. We always want to reflect on our work and what we've learned or what we take away from that project. So again, Bitmoji Classroom, you submit that on Canvas in the assignment tab where you'll upload your slides. Flipgrid, you submit on Flipgrid on that web page. And then here are our question options that I was telling. You just need to do, these are 5 of them. You could choose something different if you want to. These are just kind of the most common ones and the ones I thought you would need to know. So you just need to pick 3 of those. But like I said, you can ask something different if you want to. You might just want to run it by me and make sure you're translating it the correct way and make sure you're saying it correctly. And then these are the possible responses to those questions. These are just the beginning of those sentences. So if you're asking, ¿Dónde está la escuela? Where is your school? La escuela está, and then if it's in Lexington, you would say La escuela está en Lexington. La escuela está in Hawaii, wherever it is. So you're going to be finishing these sentences with your answer. But I just went ahead and gave you the beginning of the sentence to help you get started. Okay? So Bitmoji Classroom, Flipgrid, interpersonal conversation, and then your reflection on the assignment, on the project. This is your rubric. I'm going to go over it briefly because I know sometimes we're not sure how to read rubrics and some people do them differently. This one should be pretty easy, but you have 2 different rubrics for different parts of the project. So the Bitmoji Classroom part, again, it's 50 points. And so it's going to show you here underneath how many points you would get for that part. So it's going from most over on the right to least on the left. So on the left, there are categories for your school schedule, all of those things that you're supposed to have in your classroom. And then the points are underneath the descriptions of them. Okay. And then I'll fill this out and I'll write over here how many points you got out of that total. All right. So this is on the right here is the most points you could get for that category leading up to 50 points. So you'll want to read that. And if you want to get all your points, you'll want to make sure you include all of those things. Make sure you do exactly as the directions say and include everything. If you're not able to include everything, your points go down depending on how much you include and how correctly you do it. So you can read here what score you would get based on how you're doing your classroom and how you're following directions and how much you're completing. So same thing kind of for the school fair part. And so you're graded on on making sure you do your greeting, you ask your initial questions, and then you respond to all 3 questions of your classmates. And so if you only respond to one classmate, you're not going to get any of these 10 points or any of these 10 points. So that's 20 points out of 50 already. If you don't answer all 3 questions, you're not going to get those full points. Again, if you do any of it in English, that does not count. So all of these are assuming that you're answering in Spanish. And so you will not get the full points if you don't do it in English. There is a little bit of grace here. If you see over on the left, none of these are at 0. So you still get a few points if you just do a little bit of the work. So we're trying to give you some grace on that, but just make sure you read through that rubric and determine, okay, if I do this many questions or this many answers, these are the points I'm going to get. Okay. So always come back. I hope that this was a helpful explanation, but always come back to this video as you're working on the assignment to make sure that you're following it correctly and that you know that you're following the directions correctly, okay? And you guys can always reach out to me individually, but I just wanted you to have this to be able to reference as you're doing that project in case you forget how to do something, okay? And a lot of the specifics of it we'll be going over in class to make sure that you know how to do your Bitmoji classroom and make sure you know how to get on Flipgrid and how to say certain things. So make sure you're in class as well and you're listening for those specific instructions. Good luck.